Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Now, honestly, I just needed to come on here to talk to you guys about that game because I honestly don't know how to feel. I'm so everywhere. I just need to talk about it because I feel so annoyed if I'm being honest. I think starting off in the game, first half, we did well up until Jesus did miss that chance, and I just feel yeah, it was so unfortunate for them to score that goal, which they did deserve. You have to give it to them. Spurs did take their chances, and it was a very chaotic game. And I just feel annoyed because I feel like we really should have won that game. And yes, Spurs took the chances, and big credit for them. But for us, I just see that we could have won that, and we've not. It's so frustrating. I'm going to start off by talking about the first half because I feel like there were more positives to take from that. I think the second half was very different. I know we did start off it good, we won that penalty, but I just think the fact we gave that goal away like that, it's not good enough, and that's why we lost. And yeah, but I'm going to start off by talking about some of the positives because right now I don't feel very good, honestly. I do have to talk about Raya because he made that fantastic save, and for me, I'm going to be honest, I felt like it was a Seaman-esque type of save. I think it was such an incredible save, and it was very interesting to see Ramsdale not be starting today. I mean, I was expecting Raya to play because I think for me, Raya has deserves to play every game. He hasn't deserved to be dropped, and I'm happy Arteta kept picking him. But I think Raya had a good game today. I think for me, I'd probably give Raya a 7 out of 10. I think his game was excellent. I think with the Son goal, I do think myself, could he have done much on that? I don't know. I think Son is just really good in front of goal. And, when Son's in front of goal, 9 out of 10 chances he will score. But I do think Raya had an excellent game today. I think he made some crucial saves for us. And I think he must give him that credit, appreciation that he deserves because he was excellent, so I'm very, very happy with him. I do want to talk about that with Ramsdale. It was so, so lovely to see that he applauded his save. I think it showed you that it was great sportsmanship. I think it showed you that Ramsdale was just a very down-to-earth and lovely person. And I think I just really respect Ramsdale for that. I did want to kind of bring that up because shows you Ramsdale wasn't bitter. He might be a bit disappointed he's not playing, but he still has a lot of respect for Raya, and he's just a respectful person. So I think for me, I'm very, very happy to see that. Um, this is the situation we're in now, and it's a really tough one to be in. I think, first of all, we should see what the injury is like. If it's not too serious, I probably don't expect him to play in the next game as he got taken off. I honestly don't know where we go from here regarding that situation in midfield. I think for me, um, Jorginho, honestly, he didn't do good at all. Giving away that ball and them equalising was so bad. I mean, I don't know where we go from here. Would you want to play someone like El Neni that can, keep the ball and have that possession but won't lose it? I feel like I'm warming towards that now. If Rice is out for a few weeks, Partey is out for a little while. I don't know when he's back, but I'd probably go El Neni right now. That's all I can think of. I feel like I'd rather us keep the ball, which El Neni can do. Jorginho is usually very good, but he was very sloppy today, and you cannot do that. It's a North London derby. You've got to know you can't give the ball away because they will score, and they did. It was so disappointing. I did want to talk about Nelson as well. I think what a performance from him. He came on, he brought passion, he brought this energy and commitment that we really needed, that we lacked a bit in the game. Honestly, when he came on, it was right at the end. I thought, Arteta, why are you not bringing him on 20 minutes earlier? I think for me, Reece Nelson should have come on in the 60th minute for me, I would say, because I understand, you've changed it at half time, which I admired from Arteta. Fabio Vieira came off, which I think was the best thing. He was losing the ball. Havertz came on, Declan Rice went off. So yeah, I'm happy Arteta did make them changes, but he leaves it too late for me. He needs to be more consistent with it. He needs to change things up quickly. And I get he wants to give players time, and after 70th mark he did, but I just don't think it was the right time. I think, with Smith Rowe as well, he brought him on right at the end, in the 96th minute. I was thinking, like, yeah, you might want Smith Rowe to come on and score a last minute winner, but realistically, what can he do in that time? He needs more minutes, Smith Rowe. And I just think, that decision from him wasn't the best. Smith Rowe should be on a lot sooner. So yeah, that's sort of the situation. Yeah, I'd potentially do that as well. I think right now, Jorginho didn't have a great game, and I just honestly can't afford for him to be sloppy again. But I'd probably go Nelson or yeah, it's so tough right now. But yeah, I don't really know. I'm presuming it's probably weeks. Not sure if he would be out in our next game, but I'm praying that's not serious. And I did want to talk about that as well with Trossard. What a big blow that was today. I just think it was so tough. I think they're both irreplaceable. I feel like you can't really replace Martinelli, Trossard, and we really missed them today. We really did. It was a really tough game without them. And yeah, I agree with this. If Martinelli's out for a little while, why not bring Smith Rowe on? Why not give him that time? I believe what is stopping Arteta from playing Smith Rowe as a starter? I just think go for it. What have we got to lose realistically? I think today I just feel really disappointed right now. I think it's a disaster, but I'd play Smith Rowe any day of the week. I think he came on, he looked up for it. Smith Rowe loves North London derby. He knows what it means to be a Gooner. He loves Arsenal. He believes his club. So for me, yeah, I would play Smith Rowe. And you know what I want to say about Havertz, right? Coming on, I was actually thinking, you know what, Havertz, you had a great game in the Champions League run out. You did really well, and he looked a lot more energetic. He was making things happen, and I was thinking, you know what, Havertz is going to come on today and do well, and he did better than Nketiah. He did make a few chances, but honestly, we have paid a lot of money for him, and he's not really producing enough right now, and I just think, but where we go from here, I just feel like every game feels the same with Havertz, with Eddie, with a few of these players. They need to step up massively. And I think with Eddie Nketiah, you know what, I saw the lineup today and I thought I was hoping Trossard would play. Unfortunately, due to injury, he didn't. And that happened. I thought, Eddie, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And today, he did nothing. Like, I saw the game today and I wanted Eddie to do really well because, he hasn't been getting a start last week because, Jesus came in. And for me, I just feel like he should have taken the most of his opportunity that he got given, and he didn't. I think he looked really exhausted. I'm trying to work out, is Eddie, is he unwell? Is he a bit injured or something? Because I can't work out how he was so quiet today. He really didn't do much at all. He had a few chances, but he just didn't make the most of it. And I don't know if he just looked disinterested. He didn't look like he wanted to be there. And for me, I'm Arteta. If I'm seeing Eddie isn't giving his all in the pitch, why not change it? I was thinking, bring Nelson on, take him off. But he played for the whole game. And I feel like for me, maybe that was Arteta's mistake today because I don't think he should have played the whole 90 minutes for me. I get why he took Saka off for Smith Rowe. Saka, a lot of players went in for him and gave him tackles, and we don't want him to be injured. But I just feel like today, Eddie should have been subbed off sooner because he didn't do good at all. God, I missed the first half of 21-22, and Smith Rowe I really miss him in his prime, and I really want him getting back playing in starting 11 because realistic, what have we got to lose right now? Yeah, that's another thing with Odegaard, right? Our captain, our big player. Honestly, I don't remember a time where he actually had a chance or did anything on the ball. I was surprised that he had such a quiet game, if I'm being honest, but I know that does happen. So, why wasn't this match played yesterday? I've now got to go to work in a terrible mood. Honestly, I want to hide literally right now. Luckily, I don't have to go in tomorrow. I need like a day to recover from this. Um, Eddie most of the time runs around endlessly. Odegaard should have been taken off. He was looking knackered at the 85th minute. Yeah, and that's the thing. Right? I feel like with players like in the midfield, if you bring them off, who are you gonna bring in? Like with Partey out, with Rice injured now, the injuries are topping up, and I'm concerned really about it all. With our injuries, it is getting worrying. I'm I'm a bit annoyed with the injuries. I hope it doesn't get too serious. Um, Odegaard took a shot that was straight up. Yeah, I did remember that shot, but I don't think there was any more after that I remember. But I think that was a decent shot, to be fair. But I don't think that there was a lot after that really made up for it. I mean, these sort of games happen. Players can be quiet, but I just want to know why so many of our big players were quiet today. I do want to say the first half up until when Jesus obviously should have taken that chance that Madison lost the ball. I feel like since then we just seemed deflated. We just didn't seem up for it after that. And obviously going to half time, I was just thinking, just get into half time. But I just think we just gave up. I feel like in the second half, I feel like when Jorginho gave that ball away to Son, I think my heart just sank because we've just won that penalty, which for me was a penalty. I do want to discuss that. I feel like for me, people have said if it wasn't a penalty, but the fact it was given as a penalty. And, Saka, I've got to say, he stepped up today. I feel like he carried us today. That first goal, he was the one that made it happen. I know it was given to Romero, but he was the one that assisted it. The second goal, scoring that penalty in a big moment of the game. It was a high pressured moment and it was tough for him, but he made it happen. And obviously, Saka did make a few chances. He did nearly score at the end as well to get us that third goal. But I've got to say, much respect to Saka today. He did amazing. And I just feel like other players just didn't turn up. Like, I don't know why. I don't feel like the heart, the soul was in this game. Because, you can't just blame it on Havertz. You can't just blame it on Eddie. There was other players that didn't really turn up. I feel like when Declan Rice was subbed off, I felt like for me, honestly felt like a slap in the face. I just thought, like, how are we gonna get over this? How are we gonna recover from this? It was really, I do feel devastated about that because he has actually been one of our best players in recent weeks, and I don't know how we go from here with this. I'm devastated, honestly, with Declan Rice because I think he has been excellent. He's been worth every penny. Really hoping we get these bad patches out of the way early this season, so when we get to the business of the end of the season, there's no room for nonsense. Yeah, I don't think this has been our best start to the season. Yes, we've not lost a game, which is great to see. We're still unbeaten and we're still going for it. But I do feel disappointed with this, and I hope these performances, like you said, can get out of the way now so we don't see it at the season at all. Because Man City, for me, are flying at the moment. We're drawing with Spurs on points, and we can't forget Brighton doing well, Liverpool doing well. And I just think we've got to keep on going. It does feel like a loss right now. There are a lot of negatives, I do feel, but there also are some positives. We did still fight. We didn't concede at the end, which was what I was worried about. In my mind, I was thinking, are we going to concede right at the end? Richarlison was coming on, and I was thinking it would be such an Arsenal thing to do for him to come on and then for him to score. So I'm really happy, that didn't happen, of course. Saka made an error when he allowed Madison to do this cross to Son. He should have just gone on to the front of him. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you can't really complain about Saka today. I think he did a lot of good things, and it's obviously disappointing. I think my kind of worry is about losing our heads in the game today and our lack of control when things haven't gone our way. When Spurs score, We just seemed to let our heads go. We just seemed to give up a bit, and I think we mustn't do that because obviously the league's so important. But for me, it's nothing derby. You can't lose to Spurs. It's just one of those things. It's for me, it's just one of those things. You've got to keep going. I'm happy we didn't lose, but ultimately, if you said to me, "Would you want to draw in the game today?" Absolutely not. I never want to draw a game against Spurs. It's not nice. And I kind of think this is true though with Odegaard. I reckon, he's probably just exhausted. He played a Champions League game the other night. He's back on in the Premier League. I think we've really got to learn how to balance out these two and just go for it. Because I do want for us to do well in the league as well. If every bad game is only draw, I'll be chuffed. Yeah, I mean, that's the positive you can say. We didn't lose the game. It could have gone either way, I would say. Yeah, we've just got to take the positives, I think. It was a very avoidable error and a costly one. Yeah, you know what I feel like in this game today? Yes, Spurs had positives from the game. You can't deny that. They played good, I would say, and they did take their chances. Son, Madison are excellent, and you can't deny that. But for me, I just feel like we could have avoided those errors. We kept giving the ball away. We kept giving them chances that they shouldn't have had. Like the fact on the second goal, for them, Jorginho left on his own and given the ball away, and there's not many defenders to help out. That affects us. I feel like there's so many things of why we could have won this game. Yes, it wouldn't have been the best game for us, but we would have, it wouldn't have been a comfortable win, but I would take any win against Tottenham. So I think we've got to really work on not losing the ball and not losing against these teams because we should have won really if we didn't give the ball away so much. We need to cut out these errors, these defensive errors. And you know what? People have questioned Ramsdale with the defensive errors with giving balls away. I don't think it's all down to him. I feel like injuries are a big problem. It's not good for us to have these many injuries. We've only had a few games into the season, and I know they're not major injuries, but right now, Partey's injured, Declan Rice's injured, Trossard's injured, Martinelli's injured, we know Timber, he's out for the season. It's just not a good start for us, and we've got Man City in a few weeks. Rodri's out for that game, which is excellent, but we've really got to go to them and win that game and make the most of Rodri being out. But I'm really concerned about our injuries. I do think the Martelli one might be a few weeks, but it is worrying right now. Sophie, we were so poor. I'm not happy with what I saw. Yeah, I don't think it was our best performance of the season. No, you can't deny that. We just weren't at our best today. But like I've said, getting that draw is better than nothing, but I'd never want to draw against Spurs. I wonder what Havertz's vision is for Eddie and Havertz. Yeah, that is a good question. I'm not going to lie, it is a good question. I don't know. Eddie has shown positive glimpse. I think I've always said that Eddie's good at coming on as a substitute, making that impact. But with Havertz, I can't say I've seen a massive glimpse of positive from him. The only positive I can take was from when it was the Champions League game. He did actually have a good game the other night. But for now, there's not really much I can say about the game from him today. Can't say he did great, but I don't think he did amazing. I just think he was average, which is not great to hear, but I just think it's hard to know where we go from here. Do we play Vieira? Do we play Havertz? I'd probably play. It is hard. Havertz doesn't really lose the ball, but Fabio Vieira can make those passes through those midfields and create things. So Havertz keeps us in the midfield, not losing the ball, but Fabio Vieira makes things happen. So yeah, it's hard. My heart dropped when they started counter towards every end of the match. Yeah, when you see Son, Madison attacking, you always will be worried because you can't deny they are very good together. Yeah, me too. Got a question from Harry. How do you feel about the City game? Wow. That is a good question. I think after the game today, I'm not massively optimistic, but I would say that I believe we can get something from there. I think a win is massive for us. I don't think we've won there since 2015. I think it's been a while. But like I said, with Rodri out, depending on our injuries, it was telling me what I needed to know. By then, I think if Trossard's back and we have a front three of Jesus, Trossard, and Saka, or Jesus, Martinelli, and Saka, then I'm thinking, you know what, we can do this. But the midfield is massive because I don't know what midfield we'll have. Um, if Declan Rice is injured, we've got to see with that. I hope it's not too serious because for me, he is being worth every penny we've paid for him. He's being crucial for us, and I just think if he's out for a long time, then we're in trouble. We need his experience on the pitch. His athleticism is incredible. The way he wins the ball backs, fights for every duel is just truly amazing. That's what's incredible about him. So, Declan Rice would be a massive loss for us. I'm hoping that it's not too serious, but I do really feel my heart is sinking right now. I do feel devastated as an Arsenal fan. You never want to lose. You never want to draw to Spurs or to lose, and it feels like a tough one to take. But I do think we've just got to sort of see the positives in this and know that Saka had a great game. Raya was excellent today. He made some fantastic saves, and there are positives to take, even though this does feel a difficult result to take. Totally agree. We were so poor. It was strange not playing Jesus down the middle. Eddie hasn't had a great impact in the last two games. Think of the players 66 million would have brought. Oh, well, Havertz. Yeah, I think, I question this, and it's just for me being curious, and I wonder if you guys think this. Havertz, when he was at Chelsea, he was struggling. He was so unconfident. Arteta's brought him in. Maybe he's wanted to, for Havertz to have a new place to come to have more of a positive environment to be in, because Chelsea, are struggling at the moment. They've got a new manager, but overall they're just not doing great. And maybe Arteta's brought Havertz here to try and get the best out of players. Arteta likes to do that. He did that with Granit Xhaka, but in the game recently, in his last few games, he's not assisted any. He's not scored any. And I don't know what's going to happen with Havertz, because we do need to see more of him, and we have paid a lot of money for him. And I do think the patience will wear thin of Arsenal fans very soon. I've said personally, give it 10 games, because in 10 games, you would at least expect assists, some goals, some chances created. But right now, we have not seen that. And Arteta must value him in some way. But right now, fortunately, we're not getting it. But I just hope we can see something from Havertz. And I was really rooting for Havertz today, because if he scored a winner, he would be a hero today. Because a Northern derby beating Spurs is always incredible, and I did believe we would win today. I thought we would have got a professional win, and if we, didn't give the ball away so much, we probably would have. But yeah, it's just a bit disappointing to take, I suppose. Yeah, we were, unfortunately. Arsenal also felt very uncoordinated, in my opinion. Lots of passes to no one, crosses it to the opposition. Felt very desperate. Yeah, I do feel like um, our passes sometimes were giving the ball away too much, and letting them have those opportunities that they really shouldn't have had, which was quite disappointing, really. I wasn't very happy about them having so many chances. Um, yeah, I think we've got a long way to go right now. I feel like Man City are flying at the moment. They're scoring tons of goals. They're doing well, and when we face them, we've got to really give it to them and do well. As I feel deflated right now. But yeah, it's tough one to take. We always want to win in Northern derby, but I did want to talk on some positives now, because we're not feeling great right now. We've just drawn with Spurs. We've not had a great performance, but I did want to discuss Saliba and Gabriel, because today I thought they did really well together. I know when some of the Spurs players had some chances, Saliba put in a great tackle, a slide tackle, which is excellent. I feel like when they're at the back, they're unstoppable together, and they're just perfect together. I think, yeah, they're excellent, and I feel very comfortable with them playing with each other. They know each other very well. They've got this great partnership together, and I think if we win things if they win, a title for us if they win a Champions League, more trophies. They will definitely go down as some greats of this club, some legends, because I think they deserve to win, and I feel bad for them today because they were so good. And giving the ball away in midfield, it wasn't great for them. They deserved to win. They deserved to be on the winning team today, really. Um, yeah, they were solid, really. Very, very happy with them too. That's a really positive thing to take from the game, that we have two solid defenders at the back. I think overall defensively, in the back four, we did well. It was more about the midfield where it affected us. Talking on this comment as well about Declan Rice. Without Rice in the midfield was so light and easy to play through, we only have two quality DMs. We shouldn't have sold Xhaka with Partey's frequent absences. It is a hard one. I said that for me, we should have had three. We should have brought in a few midfielders. When you lose Xhaka, okay, you replace him with Rice, which is excellent, and I think it's a good upgrade. I do miss Xhaka, and I do think he's a great player, but there is time where you have to move on. But for me, I would have brought in another midfielder because Partey gets injured quite easily. Declan Rice could be out for how long? And when you look at the replacements now, I just think it's a struggle right now. And like you said, Declan Rice, when he's out injured, our midfield is so easy to get through. Like we saw that in the second half. I just think we weren't the same Arsenal as we were in the first half when he was playing, and it is a big blow as he's such an important player to have. And if he was out for maybe a month, I would be really worried because mustn't forget we've got Man City coming up, and they're a really tough team to play against, and him in the midfield is going to be crucial for us. So yeah, I'm a bit concerned. I think we've got to just wait to see. Yeah, I agree with that. I did feel like an Iron game. I think with the Rice injury, we've just got to see, hope and pray that maybe it is one game out injured if we're lucky. But we do need to think of a solution in the midfield. Someone did mention Nelson in the midfield. I wouldn't complain with that. Nelson, to me, is a very likable player and person. He is someone he will give his all for the club at every game. And he might not score every game, he might not assist every game, but he has that energy, that commitment, that desire on the pitch to win duels, to make things happen. So I feel like there's always that you could do. And though Nani's still here, he doesn't get much game time, but I feel like I trust him in the midfield. Yes, he might not score bangers every week. He might not, create assists, but he keeps the ball. He manages the ball really well in the midfield, and it's not as easy to get through us as much. So there's always that option. But right now, it is going to be tough. But I think I would definitely want to give Smith Rowe more of an opportunity. He came on today in 6 minutes, and for me, he did more than Eddie and possibly Havertz in those 6 minutes. And I feel like, why not give him that chance? Why not get him that game time that he deserves? He's had difficult injuries, came in and he stepped up. And I think for me, Nelson, Smith Rowe definitely deserves to start in the next game because I feel like they were excellent from what I saw, and they bring this energy this passion to this team that we really need. And North London Derby is all about passion for me, and they brought that, which was what we needed. I think Timber was the plan in right back, moving into midfield like Cine, where Arteta started Partey. Yeah, that's a possibility. I think it's obviously difficult though because with Timber out injured for the season, I don't think he'll be back for a long time. It's a big blow for us having him out. I do feel quite devastated with that injury. But yeah, I just think we've got to really see what happens with the injuries and not see what happens. If it's bad, then we've just got to find a way to get through it, really. But I think today was not what we wanted. I think for me, that win would have been crucial, but it just feels like a big blow for me right now. That's just how we feel. I just think we need to find a way to get back into winning again, competing for the league. It's going to be hard competing for the league. I think we do have to win against Man City if we really want to go for the league. But yeah, I just feel like the injuries thing is massive. I hope Martinelli and Trossard isn't too serious because if it is, I'm not sure Eddie would be able to step up. I don't really like Jesus on the wing. I'd rather have Jesus up top because for me, I just feel like he is what we need up front. I know he did miss a few chances. That Maddison one was a chance he should have taken, and he knows that himself, I'm sure. But it didn't help that he wasn't a striker on the wing. I prefer him up front, but I don't know. I wouldn't play Eddie in the next game because I just don't think he did great today at all. Arteta does like Eddie. Arteta does have players that I do think Arteta does have not favourites, but there's players that he'd probably prefer to play over other players, and I do feel like Havertz is that player. And Havertz, I generally really want him to succeed at Arsenal. I'm sat here thinking I wanted him to score today. I wanted him to get a winner for us. Fortunately, he didn't. But I think it's going to be tough. For our next game. Obviously, I'm just going to talk about some games we've got coming up. We do have Brentford in the EFL Cup, the third round. For me, I would rotate a few players for that because obviously it's important we do go through the next round and we do well in that cup. For me, I've said the season is about winning trophies, about getting some silverware back because that's what I want to see. So for me, I'm happy for some rotations, and I think for Bournemouth in the league, Bournemouth, is not as a hard game as Spurs because it's a Northland derby, but I still would make some rotations. There's some players that do deserve that game time. You can't deny that Smith Rowe, Nelson deserve these opportunities. And yeah, I just think they've proven that they deserve to start over some of these players that started today. And, with Bournemouth away, I just feel like I want to see players give them their all for the badge, having this energy, this commitment on the pitch. So Smith Rowe needs more game time. Hey, Premier League Football Chat, thank you so much for coming on here and saying hi. Yeah, that's a very important thing. I agree with that. I think Smith Rowe is so important to this team. I think he definitely needs more game time for sure. Could Kai be more influential replacing Eddie, not Vieira? I mean, possibly. It's hard for me because Vieira, I believe, is a good player. And, he really can create those passes going forward. He can cut through the midfield and give us those chances. But on other days, he gives the ball away, makes us concede goals. But I also don't think Eddie should really get a chance in the Premier League start in the next game because I feel like maybe he's exhausted, maybe he needs a rest now, and other players need to come in and show what they can do and take his place for now. So I wouldn't mind if Kai Havertz did that because in the game, I wouldn't say Kai Havertz did much wrong. I just don't think he didn't make mistakes, but he didn't really do much. I think he needs to do more on the ball, but I feel like maybe he doesn't do much on the ball because if he goes for the ball, he makes a bad tackle, he makes a mistake, then fans will be on his back saying, oh my gosh, why did he do that? That was a silly mistake from him. So maybe he's got a bit of fear in his head that if he does go for things, fans might have a go at him. So I feel like I would play him over Eddie potentially in the next game. Kai Havertz over Eddie Nketiah could provide some interesting results, can't lie. Yeah, it would be interesting to see what would happen there because I would give it a go. Why not? I mean, I think it depends for me what will happen with, the wingers, with Trossard, with Martinelli. Hey Newman, no, I'm okay. You know what? I think it's actually good to talk about the game because I feel much better now. Before, I'm not going to lie, I was so annoyed. It's not nice having to draw with Spurs, and the way we kind of gave it away to them really aggravated me and annoyed me. I'm not going to lie with that. But yeah, I just think our next few games are going to be dead important. We do have Man City at home on the 8th of October. So for me, Declan Rice is what I want for that game. If Declan Rice wasn't in for the Bournemouth game, we can live with that. We can get over that because I'm sure I'm not, underestimating Bournemouth, but I know Man City is going to be a much tougher game than that. But I just feel like for the Bournemouth game, we can rotate, maybe get away with not having Rice in the midfield. But for Man City at home, he's got to be there. If he's not, then I'm going to be concerned. But I think the midfield is an issue, and I'm not too sure when Partey's back. It might be in a week or two, it might be a little longer. I know it wasn't a big issue, but I know it was a few weeks, which is obviously not what we want to see. And obviously after that we have Chelsea. If we didn't win that, I'm not going to lie, that would be bad. But yeah, I just think taking the positives, moving on. It's not the result we wanted, not the performance we wanted at all. But yeah, I think we've just got to pray that the injuries aren't serious, and try and get over this, learn from what we've done wrong today. If Jorginho is going to play in future, he can't be giving that ball away. Maybe he shouldn't be left in that position at all, really, because it's not really fair on him. And people have to remember, Jorginho isn't in his prime. He's past his prime. He's probably got a few years left. It's like, in a way, it's like David Luiz. He had a great time at Chelsea. He came at Arsenal, did well, but he had the odd mistake in him. And I feel like I don't want, with Jorginho, I don't want his time at Arsenal to be ruined by this. I want him to be able to put some good performances in again, because, Jorginho has done that. There were times last season where he was played over Partey because he's shown that he's that good and he can do really well for us. But I think it's just important to know that he might need a rest, and we need to think of other players to come in now. Yeah, I agree with this. Saliba was outstanding. I do think Saliba, every game, he is always like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I think he always does amazing. I think he's got a great partnership with Gabriel, which is what we want to see in this team, and it's great to see they have this great connection on the pitch. And I hope with the injuries, hope they both don't get injured at all. We know when Saliba got injured last season, it was a massive blow for us. And I hope this season that they will continue to have this great partnership and they won't have many injuries, because I don't want them to. And they're just very important players for us on the pitch. And I love them both. They're great. But yeah, I just think we've really got to think of some solutions going forward in our next games, because we've got quite a few injuries piling up now, and that is a concern for us, really. If Arsenal don't beat Chelsea, Arteta needs to start Newman, you need to be nice now. If I do not see a world in which we lose to Chelsea or draw with Chelsea. They've just lost today and they're not doing great at all. So I expect a win, sure, for that. That should be an easy win for us. If we lose to that, that would be ridiculous, honestly. I just couldn't imagine that ever happening. Yeah, it's not best today, but I think you've got to look at it and think, with how the game is going, we didn't lose it, so that's something you can take away. But it is quite devastating when you do that at home. In fact, I think if we would have drawn at their place, I would think, you know what, I never want to draw with Spurs, but the fact we've got a point away from home, I'll take that. But it was at home, and I was thinking, we never lose them at home, we always win. And now I'm just like, why did this have to happen? It does feel like a really big blow for us right now. But yeah, I think, I've always said this, we just need to have that experience on the pitch no matter what happens. I think for the important games, like in the league, I think the league games you can afford a bit of rotation, a bit of having some young players in there, but with some experience. I suppose when the League Cup games are coming and the Champions League games are coming in, I hope that's not a chance for injuries or anything, because we know how serious that will affect our team, and we would have to wait till January, and the season has just started. I do think it was a bit risky to not bring more players in. We couldn't have ever predicted Timber's injury. That has really affected our team. We've obviously dealt with it really well, but I just feel like for me, Timber would have been incredible for us. We could have afforded to maybe put Zinchenko in midfield and things aren't going right. And the fact we're not, I also think it was a bit of a risk loaning Tierney out, because Zinchenko's injured. Who do we play? Like, yeah, Tomiyasu, really, we can put him there, but he's a right back. I'd prefer Tomiyasu on the right, not on the left. I know he can probably play on both sides, but for me, I don't really want that to happen. But yeah, I just think we've got to really hope the season up until January we don't have any injuries and it's not, too serious for us. But yeah, guys, I've actually been on it for 14 minutes chatting away. Honestly, it has been great chat to you guys. If you guys do have any more questions to ask me, I will answer a few before I go. But I just thought I would actually jump on here today just to talk a bit about how I was feeling about the game. I think it's good to come off after the game to just speak about my thoughts and feelings and everything. And I'm kind of glad I did because it feels good to be able to let it off and talk a bit about it because that game was pretty chaotic. But I've said this to take the positives from it, to see the good in what happened in the game, even though it is hard to take as fans. We are disappointed. Um, but yeah, I just think, stay positive and hopefully, I do think Arteta didn't get everything right today, but I just think for me next time I want the substitutes to be sooner rather than later because there's more of a chance to make that difference to win the game more. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel like it, but we haven't lost a game yet. Um, and that's the thing to take from the game today. We are still unbeaten in the league. We haven't lost. We've won a few. So yeah, I just think we've got to keep seeing the positives. Um, Best player today. Um, I think there's a few actually. Do you know what? Even though we didn't have the best game today and we didn't play the best, there are positives to take. And um, I think I'd probably go Saliba, but I do think Raya and Saka did do excellent today. Um, that save from Raya, if he didn't make that save, we would have lost the game ultimately. So I think Raya deserves so much credit. But I do think Saliba made those perfectly timed tackles that we needed. But also, you can't forget Saka did attacking, went up, helped us win, got that penalty. And you know what, Saka has missed a few penalties, but he's still not afraid to go up and take them and win us. Obviously, at the time, we thought he would have won us the game, but it does make that difference. But I do think you've got to give credit to Raya because I don't like to compare players because people always take it the wrong way, but I do think that Raya save was a David Seaman type. It was world class. I don't think you'll ever see a save like that for a while. It's hot. I actually watched that and I thought, how did he save that? It was really, really incredible to watch. Yeah, it was incredible. I think it was a great save from him. Truly amazing to see and witness because Raya's been getting these starts. And I hope he does get more because, Ramsdale's an excellent goalkeeper. But it's a tough decision. I think they're just being rotated at the moment with the goalkeeper situation. Ramsdale has been very professional about it all. And you can't deny that he is a great person. He has that great character. He's not bitter. And yeah, I think, Ramsdale probably will get game time soon in the cup games, possibly Champions League games, because we don't want, one of them to get injured. So I think right now, if Ramsdale played today, I still think he would have, the score probably would have been the same. I think Ramsdale probably wouldn't have saved their first goal, that great Raya save, but I probably think maybe Ramsdale probably would have saved the Son one, possibly, but we'll never know, and you can't always predict. How do you think Remy feels? I think he probably feels like, obviously, as a goalkeeper and as a player, you want to play every game. You want to, do your best for the club. And I know Ramsdale loves Arsenal so much, but I think right now, you can't deny that Rai is a great goalkeeper, and the fact he applauded him for that great save just showed you that he respects him and what he's doing for the club. And it isn't nice to see. Arteta has been very ruthless with his decisions. And he has been very quick with it and not gave it time. I did think Ramsdale would have played today because it's a Northern derby. He loves those games against Spurs, and I was surprised that he didn't play. But I think for me, we're just going to see how it goes. But I just respect both goalkeepers. I think they're both excellent. But I think, Ramsdale will get some game time soon, hopefully, because he deserves that. He's done so much for us as a club, and I think that's only what he deserves. And I really love Ramsdale. But yeah, guys, I have really enjoyed chatting with you guys today in the comments. I'm not going to lie, I have a bit of a busy week next week with filming. I've got a few really good videos coming up. So yeah, I'm probably going to be back with a Spurs fan next week to talk about the game, which will be interesting for sure. So yeah, I'll be back next week. I'll probably do a few pre-recorded videos, a few live streams, as I like to, do this interact with you guys, have that opportunity to kind of bounce out. But yeah, I'm going to be back next week with a few videos. But don't forget to hit the like button, to subscribe, to help me get to 2K, because I will be doing a giveaway to one of you guys online, and giving you something very nice, to thank you all for your support over the years and helping me get to where I am today. So yeah, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of you for everything. But I'm going to go now. I'll be back very soon. As I said, I'll be back in probably maybe tomorrow, Tuesday. But I'll see you all in my next video, and thank you again for watching.